And it's Wednesday, and so we're halfway through the week. Well done everybody for getting this far. What a strange start to 2021, but I don't think we really expected anything different. And hey, we get to come and do stuff like this again, so this is great. What I do want to say to you is, for tonight, you might notice I've got a bolster here. I give it a really nice stroke. If you don't have a bolster at home, which to be honest most people don't, then all you need to do is make yourself one with a blanket and just roll it up like a sausage. And you can make your bolster as thick as you want. You can just keep adding layers of blanket around until you make it to the thickness that you want. Mine's pretty thick. And what you also might need, because we're going to lay over it and the bolster is going to go along the whole length of the back, so when you roll your blanket you want it to be quite nice and long, at least sort of the length from the top of your head to the sitting bones, the coccyx and the base of the spine. Otherwise you find you tip off the end. So while you're blanket rolling, I will also tell you a little bit about my bolster. So my very good friend Karen Ackford made this bolster for me, and she started making them to sell. So anybody who gets into yoga and really actually sees the value of a bolster, she's charging £35 with £5 delivery charge on top of that, and I think you can have the fabric that you want for that. And I would highly recommend it. I love my bolster. So this is a really important piece of kit if you're into relaxing yoga with props. So it's 9 o'clock. I'm waffling away. So I think let's begin the practice. And we will start laying down over the bolster. So having the bolster, and maybe having a cushion. I've got a yoga block here. So this yoga block probably costs about £4 or £5, and I would probably get a couple if you're getting into yoga. And just sitting down on that block and bringing the bolster in so that it's right up next to your lower back. So I'm actually going to come forward a little bit and bring it up to my spine. So if you're just arriving, roll yourself up a blanket like a sausage. Hey Karen, I've just been plugging your fabulous bolster. So roll yourself up a blanket like a sausage, and then what we're going to do is lay down, over that bolster. Have a blanket under your head or a couple of cushions or something like that. And then we're just going to relax. So if the bolster isn't really your cup of tea and it feels uncomfortable, don't have it. Just take it out and lay flat on the floor. The reason we use the bolster is that it just gently opens the body and allows the shoulders to drop down. Almost, I don't know how you describe it, but the shoulders drawing down to the floor. Chest is lifting and the legs are relaxed. So for some people, they like to come into Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together and the knees dropping out to the side. If that feels a bit too strong on your hips, you could pop some cushions underneath your knees so that you've got something to release into. Or as I said, you can just have the legs straight out along the floor with just the feet dropping out to the side so that you're nice and relaxed. So I'm going to have the soles of my feet together because I quite enjoy this particular pose. Supta Baddha Konasana over the bolster, so reclining Baddha Konasana. Draw the chin down and just feeling the length in the back of the neck. Backs of the hands are on the floor. Palms are facing upwards. Let's just release down. And we might see if we can close the eyes. If we've had a really long and busy day, sometimes it can be really hard to close your eyes because your mind is racing 19 to the dozen. And even when you close your eyes are rolling around all over the place underneath. So just noticing how you're feeling. Noticing what's going on for you. It might be that you think, oh, if I close my eyes, I'll fall asleep. So you might be the opposite. But as you lay there with your eyes closed, just see if you can connect with your breath. Seeing if you can notice the quality of the breath tonight. Is it smooth, or is it a bit ragged? Is it a bit laboured? Or do you feel spacious? Hopefully laying over the bolster will create a bit of space for you in that chest, lung area. And also in this abdominal area, it's really got a really nice opening. And we passively lay here and just allow the opening to gradually happen. So this is more of a restorative practice rather than an active practice. And if you want to deepen that work, you just catch hold of the elbows and take the arms back and down overhead. Have a little wiggle if you need to. And wowzers, now you can really feel that opening in the front body. Right down into the abdomen. So even if the legs are straight, you're definitely feeling, hopefully feeling, some openness across the front body. See if you can relax your shoulders. See if you can soften in the neck. And let's just take a couple of deeper inhales and exhales now. Really filling the lungs. And maybe visualising as you exhale, just letting go any tension that you've built up during the day. Inhaling just to fill the lungs, exhaling and letting go. And on your next exhale, bring the arms down and change the cross. So you're catching hold of the opposite elbows, drawing the arms back and down once again. Have a wiggle if you need, just to get those shoulder joints doing what you want them to do. And once again, just breathe nice, slow, deep inhales, filling the lungs. And releasing down. So almost imagining that the body and the skin and the flesh is just dropping down, melting down over the bolster. Really starting to feel that you're letting go of the day. And then on your next exhale, just bringing the elbows back down. And if you are in Baddha Konasana, you can bring the knees back in. If your legs are extended, bend the knees now, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. And we'll just rest the knees together here. Bringing the arms, bring them out as wide as feels comfortable. I've got mine in line with my shoulders because I feel that's a really nice position. But if you've got dodgy shoulders, that might feel a bit strong. So just have the arms where it feels good. This whole practice should feel nice. There shouldn't be any discomfort or pain. Just a couple more inhales and exhales. And then if you're on the bolster, just really carefully, especially if it's quite a thick one, roll to the side. And we're just going to take that bolster out from underneath, pop it to one side because we'll use it later. Maybe you want to keep something for your head. And we're going to come back down now onto our backs. And just settle down now so that we drop down into the floor. So now you can feel the whole of the upper back body on the floor. So you can get a sense of the shoulders and also the curves of the back. So here you've got that lumbar curve. You might be able to get your hands underneath so that it's gently curving away from the floor. And quite often we get a lot of aches and pains in our lower backs. So just bringing the knees in, just that simple movement starts to draw the lower back down, and we can roll and rock the knees from side to side ever so gently. So we're giving ourselves a really nice massage into our back. Just moving the knees from side to side. We're also massaging the belly here. So let's take some circles with the knees, gentle and slow. See if you can slow your movements down. So chances are, if you've had a really busy day, the pace of your movements might have picked up. I was noticing that myself today. I had a bit of a rush start to the day. I was trying to get somewhere at a certain time, and then I found that pace stayed with me for a while, and I ended up rushing around when I didn't need to. So we're going to roll the knees the other way now, nice and slow, so slowing the whole pace down. And what will happen is our mind will follow our body and hopefully start to slow down. And whilst we're slowing down, we're really enjoying this lower back massage that we're getting, and also the massage in the belly. And then let's squeeze the knees together. Squeeze them down now. You can also hold around the backs of the knees. So you can hold the shins, all the backs of the knees here. And if it feels okay, you might want to raise the head just to stretch out through the spine. You might want to rock here. And then bring the head back down, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Let's take the arms wide again now. Having the feet and the knees close together, we're just going to move the knees from side to side. So the feet are staying in contact with the floor, and so are our shoulders. So the knees move to the side, but the shoulders stay put. And what you're getting is a really lovely spinal twist. And you can start gently. You don't have to bring the knees particularly far down. It could just be very small movements from side to side. It all depends on how your back's feeling tonight. So be guided by your own body. Use your instinct. You don't have to copy exactly what I do if it doesn't feel good. And then what we might find is that we want to linger a bit more. So dropping the knees maybe further over, and maybe we want to stay. So my knees have dropped to the right. And what I'm going to do is, keeping my shoulders grounded, just look down the left arm. So I look away from the knees. And I'm just going to breathe here, take a couple of deeper inhales and exhales. And just enjoy that sensation of a twist in my spine, but also feeling that in my abdomen. Almost like you're wringing out the body, wringing that tension out. We'll do the same on the other side. So dropping the knees over now to the left and looking down your right. And breathing nice deep inhales and exhales. See if you can allow the head to drop down. Just enjoying that sensation of twisting. And then bring the knees back to centre. Good. So hopefully we're a little bit more limber now in the spine. And we're going to come up to sitting. And coming to a comfortable seated position. And for me, it's really important to have something to sit on. So having a cushion just off the sofa, or using, if you've got yoga blocks, using a yoga block. And you can come into a cross-legged position. So we want to be able to stay here. So we're going to do a little bit of just gentle stretching. And we want to be able to feel that we can be upright and that we're not holding ourselves up too much. We want this to be relaxing. If it's not comfortable with crossed legs, you can also have your legs extended out in front of you. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to interlock the fingers, turning the palms away, pushing into the hands. And then we're going to lift the arms just up above the head, but we're going to soften into the elbows. We'll have a little wiggle from side to side. And then we're going to push up gently. You can look up at the hands if you want to. Moving the hands up towards the ceiling. Now it might be that your hands will be here. If your shoulders are quite tense and tight, it's going to be difficult. You're trying to work them back so that the arms are in line with the ears, but we're also concentrating on our sitting bones. So often what can happen, we'll overarch and we'll start to lift off of the blocks. We really want to anchor those sitting bones down. So we've got a movement up and a movement down in the body. Breathing here. Ah, lovely. We'll bend the arms, bring the hands back down, just rest them down briefly, and then we change the interlock of the fingers. So maybe that's a bit too much to think about on a Wednesday night. If you're a bit confused, do it automatically and then change the crossover. Once again, pushing the arms away, lifting up through the crown of the head, roll the shoulders back and down, and then we start to bring the arms up, but we'll bring some softness because then we get space in those shoulder joints. We've got space to move, have a wiggle about, and then pushing the palms of the hands up to the ceiling, but also grounding down through those sitting bones. So we're not overarching and lifting off. We're still very rooted on the mat, but we're stretching up through the sides of the body. Good. Breathe a couple of deeper inhales and exhales here. And then we'll soften back down once again, bringing the hands to rest on the legs. And let's change the cross of the legs now, if you had them crossed in the first place. And we're just going to do some lateral stretches. So sliding that left arm out along the floor, just a little way, press into that hand to turn the body away so that you're looking to the right. And then we're going to raise this right arm up and over. And we're really grounding down through this buttock so that you can feel that lovely stretch in the side body. And for me, I think I've got a bit of space so I can bend this arm a little and really get into that. So I'm still trying to look up, not necessarily up to the ceiling, but just away from this hand on the floor, and breathing nice and deeply here. Good. And then coming back to centre, and we'll do the same on the other side. So sliding that right hand out now, turning it away from the right hand, lifting the left arm up and over, really stretching into the side body there, just going as far as the body wants to go tonight. You don't need to worry about what I'm doing, just do what feels good. Grounding down through this buttock particularly, it wants to lift off. Don't let it, because then you'll lose a lot of that stretch that you're getting. Good, and then coming back to centre. And then we'll stretch the legs out in front, and let's just give the feet a little bit of attention. So they bear us all day, these feet, don't they? And I always say this a lot in my classes, that we do need to give them a little bit more attention than we do. So just rolling the ankles, just releasing any tension there in the feet. And then we can catch hold of this right foot and just sort of cradle it in your arms and just rock. So you're rocking into the hip joint. And what you might like to do while you're doing that is just give the foot a little bit of a rub. Just rub the toes, rub the instep, just while you're rocking and easing into that hip joint. Just give the foot a little bit of love. And say, thank you, foot. And then we'll release, and we'll do the same on the other side. So just lifting up, cradling that foot, and just moving the leg around, just releasing into it. And once again, you can rub the foot if it feels okay and it feels possible to coordinate rubbing the foot and moving the leg. Then do that just for a moment. And then we'll release. And we'll just bring the legs a little bit wider. And if you're sitting on a cushion, you might like to just sort of tip off the edge a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense. For those of you that practice yoga regularly, you will know what I mean. And it just tips the pelvis forwards a little. And we're going to draw the backs of the knees down towards the floor, drawing the toes in. We're not overworking because we don't want to create tension tonight. Just inhaling to lift up nice and soft. Let's have soft arms, drop the shoulders, lifting up, and then we'll come forwards, just bringing the hands together, and we're just going to stir the cauldron. So we're just rolling around. Oh, lovely. Releasing the back. I can hear my back going clonk, clonk. And I'm sure that's a good thing. There's good clonks and there's bad clonks. This is definitely a good clonk. So just rolling around, and then we'll do the same the other way, rolling back. So we're just really working through the body, just releasing. I mean, around the back and the backs of the legs. Just giving ourselves a general all-purpose release class tonight, and then we'll just release the hands. Now what can be really nice is, and is very relaxing, is to have a pile of stuff now. If you've got all your cushions, I've got a variety of craziness in front of me here, just to rest your head down on. Some people may have yoga bricks as well, so you could use a yoga brick balanced on something. But just find what you've got around you, because coming forwards like this is a bit tricky if you're not used to doing lots of yoga, and the backs of the legs might be a bit tight. So you need a good old pile of gear, because you want to be able to rest down into that. So just sinking the head down. It might be easier for you if you're finding it too strong with the legs straight. You could bend the legs, depending on how open you are, around this sort of buttock area, and you could rest forward that way if you want to, or you could cross your legs in front and just lean forward that way, which is also really lovely. So you just decide what you're doing. You're doing wide legs, cross legs, you decide. But what we're trying to do by resting the head down, and I hope you can hear me while I'm resting my head down. Maybe I'll go sideways because I'm a bit worried my voice might be a little bit muffled. But the lovely thing now is, because you're resting this third eye space here, and that automatically triggers a relaxation response in the body. So most relaxing poses in yoga are actually forward folds and poses where the head is supported, so we can start to let go of the back of the neck. We can start to let go of the weight of the head, because again, like the feet bear us around all day, so the neck and the spine and the body bears this huge weight of the head. So if we can just spend a few moments resting forwards, we can start to feel a kind of quietness descending upon us. If we can consciously now connect with the body, releasing the shoulders, softening down. Maybe take a couple of deeper inhales, and as you exhale, just imagine all the tension leaving your body. Imagine on the exhale that all the muscles are softening. Good. And then we'll very carefully now, and if your eyes were probably closed here, you can keep your eyes closed, coming back up to a seated position, or you just might notice there's just this softness that has come from resting your head forwards. And you can change the crossover of the legs now. And we're just going to do a little bit of breathing, a little bit of breath work before we do a couple more things and relax, like come into Shavasana. So we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. And if you've got blocked up nose, this could be a bit tricky. So what I'd suggest you do that while we're doing the alternate nostril breathing is rather just sit with your hands on your belly and focus on the inhale, and maybe see if you can breathe down into the belly all the way up through to the chest and back down. So that's a really nice simple breath, the yogic breath. So if you feel like you don't want to do anything too fancy tonight, then by all means just do the yogic breath. Have the concentration on the hands and the air filling the body through the belly all the way up and back down. Otherwise, you can take your hand, I'm using my right hand, and putting your ring finger on your left nostril and your thumb on your right nostril. The two index and the middle fingers will rest on that third eye space, and the baby finger just floats. And we're going to take an inhale through the left nostril. So we close the right nostril with the thumb, inhale left, and then we close the left nostril and open the right to exhale right. Keeping that nostril open, we inhale right. Closing the right, opening the left, exhale left. Keeping that nostril open, inhale left. Close the left, open the right, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. And just keep going with that rhythm now. If you've managed to pick up the rhythm, just keep going with that breath pattern. And if it's causing you any tension, then just drop the practice. It's not important. So you don't need to feel tense and worried about it. Just go back to the yogic breath where you're just breathing in, feeling the breath entering the body, swelling the belly, swelling the chest, and then exhaling to release. So we'll do a couple more rounds of whichever breath it is that you're doing. And then we'll just allow the breath to return to its normal rhythm. So just letting go of any effort now. Maybe we could all come to a point where we have the hand on the belly and the hand on the chest. Just feeling the warmth of the hands on the body now. Just allowing the natural rhythm of the breath to return and just noticing what that is. And then just releasing the hands. You can keep the eyes closed if you're feeling soft around the eyes. And I'm going to just come forwards to rest over my bolster before we come into our Shavasana. So I'm bringing the bolster in between towards my groin and I'm just leaning forwards. And it's also, you know, make it as fat as you want it to. You can make a pile of blankets here. And just rest with your head on the side. So you're cuddling into that bolster. I mean, for me, I'm quite happy with the size bolster that I've got here, but it all depends on how open you are in your hips. So do feel free to create what you need for your body to feel comfortable. Oh, and just let yourself relax now. So this is such a nurturing, relaxing pose. So it's child pose, but it's supportive child. And you can do what you like with your arms. You might just want the arms behind you, or you might want to hold the bolster. Just allowing the whole of the front body to let go. Something really secure, feeling really safe about the front body being supported in such a way. And then we'll turn the head and just rest the other way, just so that we stretch the neck evenly on both sides. Really letting go here, softening down. Softening the shoulders. And then from there, very carefully, just rolling up now. You can turn the bolster around. So what we're going to do a very brief inversion. So nothing fancy. Coming onto our backs. Nothing under the head for this. We can lift up, bringing in one of our rolled up blankets. We could have a bolster, or cushions, whatever you like, just to give yourself a little bit of height, just to maybe press into the arms, lift the shoulders, roll the shoulders in and under. This is Viparita Karani. It's one of my favourites. It's a really good stress reliever. It's particularly good to practice with the legs up the wall so that you can let the legs release. But having something under your bottom just makes it easier to keep the legs raised. So hopefully it feels comfortable. If it feels too much, if it's not that relaxing, you can just bend the knees slightly. It should soften the whole thing. And it's just allowing now the blood to run down into the core of the body, reoxygenating, regenerating, re-enervating the body. See if you can connect with a sensation of release in the abdomen and the belly. See if that can be soft there. Maybe you can be soft in the solar plexus and the chest. And maybe the throat, back of the neck, shoulders. The jaw, maybe the jaw could soften a bit. Let the tongue relax in the mouth. And the eyes, see if you can soften your eyes a little bit more. that space between the eyes, the eyebrow centre. Just notice if you're frowning, and if you are, just see if you can let go and just relax and smooth out that space between the eyebrows. And then from there, we're just going to bring the legs down. Now, if you've got a niggly lower back, what's really nice is to have the bolster around the backs of the knees. So we're just going to do a mini Shavasana now. So Shavasana is the lovely named corpse pose, but so named because you are meant to be still in that pose. And for that reason, I would suggest you get yourself a blanket to keep yourself warm, because if we're still, it can get chilly. You might want to have something under the head, and if you're near a sofa, Karen, you might want to put your legs on the sofa. So having the backs of the calves resting on the sofa is really nice if you find it difficult to lay flat. So just see what works for you to relax. I want the whole body now to be able to let go. Now you might find you want the hands on the body. It might feel more secure for you to have the hands resting on the body. The traditional position is for the hands to be on the floor, a little way away from the body with the palms facing up so that the shoulders can open. Back of the neck is long, chin's drawing down so that the eyes can draw down, closing the eyes. If you've got something to put over your eyes, that can be really nice. If you've got an eye bag or just a t-shirt or a top, just to put over your eyes so you get complete sensory closure, as it were. So you're turning inwards. And just for the next couple of minutes, you're just going to relax, release down. So just imagining the whole of the body now, softening and releasing. Imagining all the muscles are just drawing down, melting down into the mat. And maybe you can take this opportunity just to notice if there's any parts of your body that are still holding tension. You can just notice that. You don't have to worry about it, but it's just a sense of inquiry into what's going on with your body today. And maybe you could just invite that tension just to soften a little. Let's just check in again with the belly, moving up the body through the solar plexus, the chest, to the throat and the shoulders, back of the neck, jaw, and the eyes, and that space between the eyes. Softening it all down. And then we'll just have one more minute here in Shavasana. Just nice and quiet. I won't speak now for another minute or so. The next sound that you'll hear will be my little singing bowl, just a little gong sound. I'll sound that 3 times and then I'll just talk you back out of your relaxation. Or you might decide just to switch me off and carry on with your relaxation as you are. So just enjoying now your Shavasana. So just bringing your awareness now back into the sensation of the body resting on the floor. Noticing the back of the body in contact. And just taking some gentle movements with your hands and your feet, maybe just rubbing the fingers together, wiggling the toes, opening your eyes and just looking around you. Taking a couple of deeper inhales now and exhales, so reconnecting with the breath in the body. Because you are going to need to move yourself eventually to go to bed. And again, as I say, feel free, switch me off if you need to, if you want to stay. Otherwise, you can just take whatever movements you need to mobilise your body. So just listen to what the body's asking for, any little stretches or squeezes. And whenever you're ready, you can roll to the right and come up. And I traditionally finish my class with hands to heart and I say namaste. So everybody, thank you so much. If you did tune in tonight, I hope it's helped you to get a bit more sleep ready. And feel free to watch it back. It's going to be on my Facebook page probably forever. So feel free to watch it back and use it again as many times as you like. And go well into the rest of the week, and I'll see you here again same time next Wednesday for a bit more relaxing stuff. Thanks everybody. Bye.